Soul Simmers, my name is Darth Jeswick and welcome back to my channel. Today we're building in San Sequoia a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom house on a 30 by 20 lot. You can see I've got the floor plan already hashed out. I was taking a really long time to figure it out. That's why I usually try to get the floor plan done before I start recording. I don't know why. Sometimes even like the simplest of houses takes me the longest for the floor plan, and like some of the harder, like more complicated designs of a house are like super easy for floor plans because there's like a set spot for where your living room could be. But essentially this house is just like one big rectangle with a couple of little bump outs here and there, so I kind of had to really work with it to make the rooms the way that I wanted them to be, as well as like the kitchen and the living room. I've also just had a hard time deciding what I want to do for builds lately. Like I've been really struggling with like the type of builds that I want to do. I build a lot of these like mid-century modern builds just because that's what I'm comfortable with. But as far as like building a like castle right now with the new castle kit, I don't have the motivation for that. I built a shell of a castle using the castle kit, but that's like the only thing I did with it. I didn't like furnish it or anything. If you want to, you can download it. It's on my gallery and you can furnish it yourselves, and maybe I'll take a look at those if that's something that you guys would be interested in. But we basically have the whole shell done. I've also gone through and added carpet and flooring as well as wallpaper to all the rooms just so that I could get that out of the way. I'm just using a base game tile and the wood flooring from the base game in the kitchen and the dining room, as well as the entryway, and then the carpet is from the pastel pop kit. I thought it would be fun because I like never use carpet in this game. It just doesn't really appeal to me that much. I just never really think about the carpet because we have so many rugs in this game. And the carpets don't really look that great either. They look like really uncomfortable carpet, but the pastel pop kit looks like it would be soft if you were to walk on it. Whereas the base game and some of the other carpets look like they'd been walked on for a long time and like never been removed or changed. They're just like flat and like hard looking. I don't know if that makes any sense, but if you've ever been in a place that just has like really old worn down carpeting, that's what the Sims base game carpeting reminds me of. I'm using the cabinets and the appliances from Parenthood because I love the Parenthood appliances and the counters. They're so great. I use them in a lot of these style builds just because that's kind of the feel that they give me. And they're really bright and blue, and I love them so much. It matches perfectly with these tiles that I have in the kitchen. We're moving on to the living room now. I'm using the couches from Growing Together as well as these little ottomans and the rocking chair. And this is a limited pack build. I only used 9 packs, starting with Snowy Escape, Growing Together, Get Famous, Dream Home Decorator, Parenthood, the Home Shelf Hustle pack, the Bowling pack, and the Pastel Pop kit, as well as the Industrial Loft kit. But the main 2 packs that I used in this build are Growing Together and Parenthood. Like for some of the other packs, like the Snowy Escape, I just use the windows and a couple of the decorations from it. Get Famous, I only use the door and a couple of pillars. So if you don't have those packs, you're not going to be missing too much. I honestly can't even remember what I used from the bowling pack, so I think it's just like a clock or something like that. But we're moving on to the bedroom now. I've got a bed from Growing Together and the dresser from Get Famous. I love this dresser. It feels so like vintage to me and I love it. We have 2 bedrooms in this house, a adult room and a nursery. Although the tester sims that I made for today's build don't have an infant, although they do have the ability. Speaking of our tester sims, we have Elena Kinsey. She's family oriented, good, and a vegetarian. She has the super parent aspiration, which gives her the domestic bonus trait. And her wife, Monica Cerda, she is gloomy, generous, and loyal. She has the big happy family aspiration. And like I said, they don't have an infant, but they do have the ability. You can find all my tester sims and all my builds on the gallery at Darth_Jeswick, just like it appears here on YouTube if you're looking for it. But we are moving on to the nursery now. I've just got a few things in here, the changing table, as well as the little playmat, as well as the crib and a few little toys here and there. I also added in the mobile from the Growing Together pack because I think it's adorable. Even though it's like very minimalistic, I think it matches pretty well with what we've got going on here. And a shelf from the base game and a few of the base game decorations that came with the Growing Together update. As for the bathroom, I'm keeping it pretty simple. I'm using the sink from Parenthood as well as the shower, and then a toilet from base game. That's actually like a light pink color. I just think it's adorable. And it kind of matches like the tub. Not really, but the tub is like blue and we've got like a bunch of like colored tiles. So I wanted to tie in all those fun colors with our appliances. But that was pretty much it for the inside. I'm just moving on to the landscaping right now. I added the growing together swing set because I think it's super adorable. It's got these lights and little flags on it. I was going to use the base game hot tub here, but I don't think I ended up keeping it. I want to say I replaced it with like a picnic table. Let's face it, these hot tubs just take up way too much space. Although it does tie in really well with the color scheme that we have going on here, some of the other ones are just like way too much. As for the landscaping, I kept it pretty simple with just some lavender and low-lying pale flowers. That's pretty much what I do in every one of my builds. The bushes as well, they just take up a lot of space and they make the outside of your house look a little bit cleaner. I wish I was better at landscaping, but I just don't have the time. I don't want to spend 2 or 3 hours just landscaping a build. It's just not for me. I see all these people on TikTok who do like amazing, incredible landscaping, and I'm like, how do you have the time to do that and then still go in and furnish an entire house? Like, that's insane. I actually cannot fathom how long that would actually take in real life. Like, this was a relatively simple build and it still took me like an hour and a half. Also, for some reason, I was having some glitching with my terrain paint. I don't know why. It just didn't want to place where I wanted it to go, even though I don't have any like weird things going on with my terrain. And usually when your terrain is like on a bunch of different levels, that's when you have a lot of like the weird glitching with the terrain paint. But occasionally I have like an issue where it just like doesn't place where it wants to. The mouse just like jumps all over the place. It's weird. As soon as we get done with the terrain paint, I'm going to start working on the garage. I wanted room for a card table and a handiness table, as well as a guitar, because I wanted a place for your Sims to go that isn't going to bother every other Sim in your household. Like, if you play guitar badly or piano badly, like all your other Sims get irritated, then they don't want to do any skill building because they're frustrated and angry. But if they're alone, then it doesn't really matter. I also really wanted to have a covered walkway from the garage to the house. And I did that by placing a platform and then drawing a fence on top of it and then just deleting the floor beneath it. But that's just about all for today's speed build. We should be getting to the tour right about now. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button because it really helps out. I try to upload a couple videos a week, so subscribe and hit the bell button to get a notification every time I post a new video. I hope you have an amazing day wherever you are in the world, and I'll see you all in the next video. Dag dag!